I'm introduce myself first. I am Howard from Yellowboots. Michael will coming in later. Okay. Tonight will uh, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to all YBs. Thanks for joining us. Tonight we have Mr. Chay Meng from Singapore, and Mr. Cha was a chartered accountant by professional. He retired as group CFO of listed Net Steel Electronic Limited in Singapore. During his career, Chow traveled around the globe extensively and developed his hobby in photography. Yeah, he started using PS 6 years ago, and he is now a chairman of 3 photography and Photoshop interest group in Singapore. He owned a Sony A7 III and a Canon R5. So over to you, Mr. Chai.
Thank you, Howard. Can everybody hear me clearly? Okay, today we have a talk on Lightroom or Photoshop. So before we go into answering the question, I just want to bring you through a brief history of equipment and photography in the history. Not so distant ago, we were still struggling with SLR camera, and many of them compact camera. What is the characteristic of such cameras? A lot of people start picking up a camera and ask, "Hey, what f-stops do I use? What lens do I use? What focus length and what white balance? All kind of question and so on." Only the very good photographer know exactly what they want to do. People like me, very difficult to take out a camera and shoot immediately, which means straight photography, all those things are quite beyond me at that time. Only people like Leica user will be very happy with manual system, very backward system, but I don't know why they still love it so much, so expensive. Anyway, then not long ago came the handphone and the mirrorless. What happened? Within a few years, the knockout almost entirely the compact camera. Everybody is using handphone to take photo. And the handphone grow from 1 megapixel, 2 mega, and then today 10, 50, and even going for hundreds. Okay, that started the revolution. It tells us very clearly, the manufacturer of camera did not know the market, did not know the user. They don't know that we all want to take picture as easy as it can be. And the old camera, SLR, all those things are basically wrong for many, many years. So came the viewfinder. Okay. I still remember not long ago, I was still struggling with the my Canon 5D, which has got what they call live view, right? Everybody get familiar? Sounds familiar. Nikon and Canon had live view. And I always tell myself, live view is what we want, not the old SLR. Do you remember the SLR when you take up the camera, you see through whatever thing you set, you see the same thing. Because
excuse me.
Yeah.
There's an echo from your place. Can you maybe
Is it
switch
from my
off
place?
the sun? Yes, from your place.
Okay, I turn on the other. Okay, no more echo now, right?
Yes, no more, no more.
Yeah. Okay, so I remember whatever setting I put, F2 or 8 or F6 or F4 or F8, whatever, I see exactly the same thing. When you see, so that means when I click and then take a picture, what I saw was not what I get. Right? Everybody remember that? So now,
Yes.
now the manufacturer realize that when we take up a camera, we want to use the screen. What we want is what I see is what I get. They call it YC week, right? What I see is what I get. So not long ago, I still take a picture, and then the next thing to do, everybody is the same in my group. Take a click and then immediately look at the screen to see whether the picture is okay or not. Right? Remember that? Now I can turn off the review because it's to save my battery. So the revolution has just started. Why it started? Because the next thing that coming is what? The flash. When you use a flash, you look at your object and then you click, and then your light went off. What do you get? You get a bright picture. Again, what you saw is not what you get now, right? Remember? So the part 2 of the revolution is going on. I have seen quite a number of studios. They have replaced the flash with LED, continuous light. So this one is coming soon because LED is not that bright yet, but it will come. The day will come. I already bought my LED light. So part 2 and part 3, which is going on, is editing. Now the manufacturer realized that cameraman, photographer wants editing. What is pushing handphone photography so popular is because user can do their editing from hundreds, if not thousands of suppliers. They can do their editing on the phone, on the iPad, and then on the PC. Right? So there are 2 levels of editing. One is on the camera, and people edit the picture using even Photoshop and so on, have to move to the platform, the mobile platform, and then they want to send out the picture to social media immediately. So that is exactly what user want. And then the revolution has just started. Apple has introduced stage light and cinematic and so on. So we are witnessing a very, very drastic revolution on photography actually today. So that basically answered the first question of why photo editing. A lot of people still believe that photo editing is cheating. Okay. So why editing? So today you can answer the question by saying that it's basically between a hardware choice and software choice. You can either buy very expensive f2.0, f1.2 lens, or you can use the f4 lens and go to Photoshop and then create a blur, background blur, as good as f2.8 lens. So if you have a lot of $1,000, go and buy the best lens you want. The Canon 50 mm or 85 mm f 2.0, f 1.2. I think the best
1.8, 1.2.
1.8 and 1.2, right? And now they have some 0.95. Oh, you have the budget,
Yeah.
go and buy it. But I would prefer when I go travel, I just bring my f4 lens and then I come back, I create whatever a blur I want. And in fact, the mobile phone company has taken the lead. All right, Apple is talking about flexible focus point and so on. So you don't need to have very expensive lens. So it's between hardware and software. And then the lighting. Lenses and dollar choice, basically, right? Why do we want to do editing? Because even up to now, a lot of us, after taking a photo, we still want to do changes on increasing the brightness, changing the background environment because you have some joker standing behind you, and you don't want them. So you need to do editing to remove the object. I can show you some. Let's look at some of the picture. Sometimes you take a picture like that.
Can you share screen?
Okay, I need to do a share screen.
Yeah.
Can you see this?
Yep.
I'm not ashamed to say that I took this picture using my Sony A7. I just took out, and then it's very hard to use today's hardware to achieve something perfect. Now this one, of course, obviously, I did it too fast. I did not get a horizontal line, and this is underexposed, and against the light here, I have an overexposed sky, right? So I doubt any camera can take out, aim and shoot, and then give you with any good setting, you can achieve a perfect balance one. But the handphone can, and with Photoshop you can. And this is a common mistake we are still making, or I wouldn't say it's a mistake. It's just the hardware design will not help you to do this one. You have distortion, right? If the angle is down, you look down, you're not on a horizontal line, you get this. And with editing, you get this. So we still want editing, right? And another example. What is this?
Your screen.
Okay. Now this is one street shooting. I got to do it very fast because when the roti plotter jump up, I got to take a shot, but very messy, right? So without editing, you probably not attractive. At least if I do some blur behind, or I have a f2.8 on hand, I could have done this one. But no, with this one, I don't need the f2 lens. It was done by a f8, I believe, right? So editing is still needed. I don't know whether you can see this. You can. Okay, this guy show up. Very common. You as a tourist, you walk around, and some joker will just come out, and it can be easily removed by Photoshop.
Okay. Can you will you demo for us in Photoshop?
It will be okay.
Okay.
Another one. If someone tell you he doesn't like to do any editing, and if this is his picture, you show him this one, I would say he will not object to any editing anymore. Again, right? So in the end, I think editing is needed by photographer. The main reason is we want to recreate. It's artistic preference that call the shot in the end. Your budget, two factor, your budget and the artistic. Very hard to have a picture you can take in such a beautiful rendering of light and so on. So this is after some editing from Adobe. Okay. Now, after answering why editing, then we talk about Adobe. Why do I choose Adobe? Adobe has two versions of the editing software, basically Lightroom and Photoshop. Now, how do you choose Lightroom, Photoshop? I think many of you, either you use Lightroom or Photoshop or both. For me, it's simple. You look at Lightroom. Lightroom is doing giving you all the capability to do basic photo adjustment. The very simple one, color grading. Okay, you change, maybe at the time you take a photo, you use a wrong white balance carelessly, or your camera. Everybody, I'm not sure you know, and you use different brand of camera. Actually, when you take a picture, your camera built-in software already have done a first round of editing for you. That's why your Fuji camera and Sony and Canon use the same setting, you take at the same place, you will not get the same color. Okay, it is for sure. Now, Lightroom is used. I use Lightroom for almost 90% of my editing, because if you don't want to do any drastic change to your photo, Lightroom is basically good enough and used by many professional photographers. But most important is the workflow and the file management built into Lightroom. If that sounds strange to you, I would show you a short demo later on why you want to use Lightroom. Okay, it has got workflow and file management. Now, very briefly, workflow file management means when you finish your trip, you come back with the photos in the SD card, you plug into the computer. That is where you start your workflow. A few years back, I went to Tibet, Xizang. I actually came back with almost 12,000 photos. 12,000, but in a week's time, it dropped to 4,000, because that's the workflow starts. You go through all your photos. Some of them are bad. You don't want them. You throw them away. Many of them I did quite a lot of tree bracketing shooting, meaning my setting and -1 and +1, one stop. So I just choose. Sometimes when the light changes so fast, I don't know my current setting is good enough now. So in doubt, I just shoot 3 and then choose one and drop off. So I drop and drop, and then Lightroom enables you to list out all your photo and let you compare A, B, C, and you choose A or choose B or choose C, and then you can award a rating: 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, up to 5 star. And then you can choose. You don't delete them first. You throw one by one, star 1, 2, 3. At the end of it, after you have gone through, I have gone through 12,000, I will just decided, okay, now it's time to delete all my, or just remove it to another directory. I delete the 1 star photo, throw away. I leave behind 2 and 3, and then maybe after some time look through again, I can drop the 2 star. Now 3, 4, 5, then I will decide I want to go through one more round, compare the 3 and 4, and I do some sorting. Okay, promote the 3 to 4, and then drop the 4 star to 3 star, and so on. Right. And as and when you want to do more, for example, you find one of the picture very nicely done, but overexposed, underexposed. What do? Okay, I can either edit it immediately in a Lightroom, or I will branch to Photoshop and do some changes, because for why I go to Photoshop, for example, if it's overexposed, as long as it is not beyond rescue. Beyond rescue means your color, your RGB is all 255, 255, 255, and meaning there's no information at all for the overexposed portion, so you cannot rescue it. The only way to rescue is to probably go to Photoshop and replace the overexposed portion with a better one. For example, sky. If the sky is overexposed, maybe you want to change the sky. Okay, so that you need to go to Photoshop. Now, Photoshop, some people just go use Photoshop alone, and I would think that it's not very efficient to do so. If everything is done in Photoshop, then how do you manage your workflow? You have taken 8,000 picture, and of the 8,000, I mean, you can't be keeping 8,000 picture and try to use it all the time. So you may want to drop off half of it. And Lightroom is the tool for you to use it, not in Photoshop. Okay, unless you want to go into the another software that come free together with Photoshop, called Bridge. Okay, Bridge will have the same thing. So basically, Lightroom is Bridge plus Camera Raw, which is inside Photoshop. And the reason why you use Photoshop is the powerful, very powerful layer and layer mask features that doesn't exist in Lightroom. The brand mode, the multi-photo stacking, and HDR, and so on. Now, I want to answer one question, people. Because I am conducting some lessons at the community center, one of the questions often asked is that, where can I get free Photoshop software? There is no answer to it. Okay, I can only offer some interesting feature in the purchase agreement that help you reduce the price. Now you can, first of all, yes, in the limited sense, you can get free Photoshop. Interestingly, I started using Photoshop free for 2 years. That was when my son was studying at the university. Now in Singapore, I don't know in Malaysia and other places, the school usually sign a very cheap agreement with Adobe. Any student, as a result, any student, my son was studying at SUTD, I used his account to access Photoshop free. Okay, it is part of the benefit for a university student in Singapore. SMU, SUTD, NTU all have such arrangement. So if your son whoever is studying at NUS, NTU, well, talk to him and see whether he use it, and then you can use the usually when the email account with snu.edu.sg will be able to enter into it with a password provided by the university. Okay, so I actually used it for 2 years. And after that, I got hooked onto it. I can't go without it. So I signed up. Today, I'm paying like $13 Sing. It's 13 point something, right? A month. Because after I went on the contract, they have changed to a subscription mode. And every month, they deduct from your credit card automatically 13.30. Now, there are some way to make it cheap. Unfortunately, Adobe has modified the pricing in the last few years. At first, it was you pay $13.50 Sing dollar, and you can activate. You can install as many as you want in your computer, but you can activate 3 copies. So I use one in the office and one at home and one in another notebook of mine. So 3 copies. But it says that you can only use one copy at a time. Now, it is in writing, but please note that they usually check your account once every 6 months. So basically, you use one at the same time. You are using at home. Your brother is using in the office and so on. Usually is quite okay, and only check. It only check once every 6 months. In fact, it checks once a month to make sure you pay. If you don't pay, they cut you off. All right. So you pay. Now imagine one time is easy. If you can strike an agreement with a friend, I use at night, you use daytime. Okay, then you share the account. So you only pay $6 and $6.75, right, per month. $6.75 in Singapore is for a bowl of noodle. That's all. I think it's worth it, right? And you still want to stretch that some further. Okay, what you can do is you log on, let Adobe check. Usually at the time you check, okay, if they want to check, but usually they don't check. As I said, once a month they check. After that, you don't have to be online anymore. You just, if you can survive without the internet, you just pull out the network cable, and then you can use it until the end, right? So in that sense, you can share with 4 or 5 person, okay? So if you calculate, if you are smart enough, $1 per month, you can use it. So it's worth doing it, okay? Today, why do I use Adobe? There are so many other different brands. You have Capture One, you have Lumina, you have ACDC, and so on. Now, I have tried at one time to move to ACDC, and it's cheaper, one time only. But inevitably, I have to come back because Adobe is the leader in the industry. A lot of the thing is started or invented by them, and then everybody has to follow. For example, layer. Okay, using layer and other important thing, everything when it appear in Photoshop, all the rest will have to follow, change it, even the keystroke and so on, they change it. And another problem is today, when we take picture, we take raw. Okay, my advice to you, take raw picture, because raw picture in every pixel has so much information. It enables you to edit in raw and a lot better than in JPEG. Now, when you edit in raw, do you realize that when Sony came out with the camera A6, A6-1 and A7, R1, R2, R3, although the format is the same, the extension is the same, I tell you the actual raw file are different. So you are using, when I was using ACDC as a second copy, I had to wait for almost 5 months to get the latest raw file readability in that format. But Photoshop, almost within 1 week or so. Okay. Now, if you use Canon, I can also tell you the Canon, your SLR format, your M format, and your R5, RP format, although it is CR2, CR3, but they are different. They are different CR2, different CR3. And Photoshop and LR will be very quick to let you read this format. If you use other brand, well, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. Okay. So that's the reason I use it. Right. Now, at this point, do you have any question or any point to add, or any correction you want to add? Otherwise, I will go into a quick demo to show you Lightroom and.
Chay, sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your opinion? You know, many people say that Adobe, or talking about especially Photoshop and possibly Lightroom, they are all very resource hungry. You need a very powerful machine or very powerful laptop or desktop to to operate these two pieces of software. What would be your opinion on this? Yeah.
Yes, it actually, I have just upgraded my PC with plenty of memory more. Otherwise, it becomes slow. Now, I don't know which joker recommended that when you use Lightroom, you use one catalog file for the entire collection of picture. I think that's a stupid one. Now, Lightroom require you to set up a catalog file. So whatever editing you have done to your photo, it doesn't touch your photo. Your photo is still the same file you have, but Lightroom store all your changes into a big file, catalog file. Okay, so when you start Lightroom, the first thing to do is to open the catalog, and when the catalog grew big, it's very slow. So you're very right. It's true. And recently they also add in the 3D rendering capability. It's beautiful. I can tell you. You go into there's a mode called render and spotlight. The light, they simulate a light at the place that you place the light, the light shining at you exactly as if you are in the studio. Okay, it's so beautiful. That you just love it.
Can you demo later?
Yeah, this is one of the example using the light to do it. You can't. I don't know how many lights you have to do to provide it, right? So the in short answer, yes. The more memory you have, the better. Don't try to use a cheap notebook. My recommendation is buy a games machine. I have a games PC. This game has got the latest GPU. It requires good GPU to move.
So do I. I also have a games laptop, gaming laptop.
Yeah, that's good. Do you have it?
I own a gaming laptop. I use it for editing, photo editing.
You just make sure in your Photoshop and Lightroom in the preference you set up that you want to use the GPU for your editing. Any other questions?
You can continue.
Okay, if not, I will show you the Lightroom first.
Okay.
Okay, this is Lightroom. Right. Now, I was telling you how I do my workflow when I came back from India, for example. There are 2 pictures. Okay, these 2, 3. So I don't need so many. I'm only going to choose one. So the first thing to do, the first thing I do is I would do a select all, Control A, select all, and then I will assign go to the bottom here, click, and then I will assign a rating to say 2 star, meaning the worst of my work I believe is 2. So if I downgrade to 1 means I want to throw it away already, 2. Okay, and then after that I go to one by one. Okay, I see you can see 2 star here, 2 star. So I can, if I think, okay, I only want this one, or I want to see the street view, whichever. So I want to drop this to 1. I just press a 1. Okay, become rating to 1, meaning later on I do it. Or if I decide to delete this one, I do have to have a second thought. I would let's say here I got 2. I take 1. I do X. Do X. You can see this set as reject. So reject. There's an X here. Okay. And I go on, and then there are two different exposure. So I want this one. I do want this one. Why I want this one? I'm sure some of you got the idea. I understand the concept ETTR, expose to the right. All right. Expose to the right means you try to stress your brightness as much as possible without overexposing it. Look at the histogram. Okay, I did not overexpose it. It's all within the acceptable range, meaning it did not shoot through the roof, except for this little blue one. So in that case, when I choose the two, bright or dark, I will choose a bright one. The reason is when I do any adjustment in any software, when you have a bright one, you bring down the brightness. The amount of detail is there. Okay, as long as you don't overexpose it, it's there. So you are keeping the detail. But if it is a dark one, if it's too dark, for example, all these areas too dark, you try to brighten it. Inevitably you lose detail. You see noise and so on. So remember, bright one you bring down, you don't lose the noise because you get what you want. But from a darker one, you try to bring up the brightness to this level, you will lose some detail. So this concept exposed to the right. Okay. So when you see such thing, I would this one I will drop this one. I put 1. Okay. Right. Now this is also one reason I didn't do a good job here. Basically, this is a bright. Found it in the Indian palace. Quite good looking. So I took a picture and found this picture hanging there. You know, as a distraction. So I remove it, but I did a quick job. You know, so they can see the color is not even, but that's how it is, right? So after that, you can review. You can go to the star. Let's say I have a 4 here, and so on. So you can review. You can choose. You can just choose 1 star equal to 1 star. I show up those 1 star and confirm. I'm gonna throw it away. On 2 star, 3 star.
Chay, there are quite a number of questions in our chat groups.
Okay. Where are the questions?
Okay. Howard, would you like to read the question?
Yes.
Okay.
SNG Michael asking which is BW. Michael, SNG Michael. BW means black and white.
EW.
EW.
Where do you see it?
No, inside the chat room. B, boy, W.
Oh, his name is EW. So what's the
Mike sir, would you like to unmute yourself and please ask directly to?
Oh, okay. Which is better? Yeah. Sorry. He means which is better to do your selection or curing the library or develop module, and why?
Oh, library is to let you have a quick run as well as going to the. Okay, you can see on the left side here, you can see all the subdirectory and so on, the number of files I have and so on, without editing it. All right. Now, the moment you choose this one, for example, you want to choose here, you have to go to develop. But it will be individual one by one. For example, here you want to see that the sky is quite bright, so you want to bring down the highlight. You just do the slider, and you bring down the highlight. Okay, or use exposure. Right, or you want to change the white balance. Right. Answer the question?
Okay. Michael, SNG Michael.
Now I'll continue to talk about the capability of Lightroom. Develop and
also another question from Andrew Ho.
Hi, Andrew.
How to set up separate catalog?
If you can see the moment you start, okay,
Mhm.
if I get out from here, okay, for example, you want to, let me go to library first.
Okay.
This looks like a nice edit, Mr. Chay.
Yeah.
This picture looks like a very nice edit.
See my photo, don't see her.
We are seeing the result. We are not seeing the models. Yeah.
Okay, now here is your normal window explorer. Now, when you organize a file, let's say after you go to somewhere, you take out, you take some photo. Where are my photo? Okay.
Actually, what is the real purpose of having multiple catalogs? Usually, for me, myself, I just have one catalog and many albums. Is there any particular reason?
Yeah. I'm coming to it. You see, I usually organize when my SD card, I bring it here. I will put out the date. Okay, where I went to Malacca here, Kuantan, and so on. So it's one directory. Now I have okay. So I usually use one catalog for one event. Let's say I make a China trip. It could be a Shanghai, one folder and whatever. Now, if I have many photo in Shanghai alone, I will have one catalog. Now, as I mentioned earlier, now if I do a catalog, you can see here, the catalog file is here. Can you see my catalog file currently is already 53 megabyte. The more the bigger you are now. In the early day, I was quite upset when this file was corrupted, and it corrupted quite easily. I lost all my changes. Okay, so even though there is a backup here, you can see the backup file here. It automatically create a backup file, but it cannot help. I lost the editing, right? So after that, I changed by event. Every event I went to Indonesia, I had one event, one catalog file. If I went to Taiwan, I have one catalog file. Now, that is for safety reasons. Secondly, as I mentioned earlier, in the old day, I used like whole month, one catalog for one whole month, but it becomes crawling. It's so slow. It's so slow. You can't take it because, as I said, I went to Tibet one month itself. I have 12,000 photos. So if I put everything into one catalog, no, you can't do it, right? So I not only I put it by event, not only I use by event, I also try to do my optimized catalog as often if it's like reorg the file, organize the file to make it after the delete and so on. Okay.
Okay.
I think you can try yourself. You can try to build a catalog for your what? Especially
so you create on this
very slow.
Okay, new catalog.
Okay. So now I already have a very big one, 5,000 over picture, 5,5780 on one catalog of this one because I was doing some kind of selection. Okay. Any more questions?
Okay.
come back to the organization. You can organize a file by your natural way. That is based on what you do in your Explorer. Okay. Now you can also have many different ways to do it. Other than 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, there are also different color. You can see the color code here. Okay. So after 5, you want to do another one. Let's say you want to choose some picture to join exhibition. You want to choose this one, for example. You want to use red color. Red color actually is 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know what the last one. 10. Just click the color here, like red, red. So it become red. 6. Right. So there's you see a color here. Right. So you can also see color. When you want to say, I want to display picture photo with all 5 star or all the red color one, then you show up. Okay. And then you can have different way to do it. You have flag it. You want to see everything, then do an unrated, and so on. A few months ago, they came out with another one called face recognition. So actually, you click here. Now, I don't want to click because I have 2,000. It will be slowly. What happened is it will take up the face, and then let you name it. You have Bunju, okay. So it will let you go through one by one, confirm this is Bunju, and then another one who is Lily, and then so on. So next time you can see, show me all the picture of Lily, then all of the Lily will show up. That will cut across all the different directory into a special group. Also one good way of organizing your file. And you can have XY, you can have 2 to compare, and so on. Right. So this is organizing the workflow. Delete, and throw away. You compare the 2, and then you move on. You move on, and one reference to compare the 2. For example, this one is a reference, but if you change it, then no more reference. Candidate, select, and so on. Go back to 1. Okay. Now, after organizing your workflow, the next thing to do is to do your editing. You can have the one good thing about Lightroom is if I do one here, for example, I do my in develop, I do my editing. I want to increase the exposure, for example, or darken it, whatever. After my editing, I can apply the same editing to the next field one. For example, this one. After I reduce the highlight. By the way, this roadside hawker in India, very interesting. That somehow they can balance out the color. You can see the whole picture is very balanced in terms of color. Don't know how to do it. They have the more color here, and then this one to match it. Okay, so I do the exposure. Now I can apply this to this one by clicking another one, and then here I do a synchronize. Right, so you can see I can synchronize color, synchronize white balance, and whatever I choose. And after I sync it, the 2 is the same now. You apply everything over here. Okay, this is one thing. Now, by far the most powerful thing, maybe I start my normal workflow. When I come a picture into a Lightroom, the normal thing I do is, of course, check the white balance, check whether the horizontal line and so on. This is the Indian bus, and then you can see it's very normal. The Indian overflow customer will go to the top and then sit there, and then the bus driver will feel the urge. Then they will stop the bus and go there and have a pee, and then after they come back.
Chay, sorry to interrupt. how would you check your white balance in this situation, or in this scenario? Do you have a color cards that actually you refer to, or you just based on visualize, based on
Okay, usually I click this one, this picker.
Mm.
You pick up this one, you just go to a place which is supposed to be gray or white color. You just click there, okay?
Okay.
Here's a white color, right? You click, overall color will be adjusted. Okay, now I use this one as an example. If just for example, you think this is a white color, you this is one, click here, okay? So it will tell you this is what it should be, or white. After that, you can play with it, left, right, and so on. Okay, warmer, cooler, and so on. Right. So this is how I adjust the white color, white balance. Now, if you think this is the one, you can just click again. Okay, this is the gray color. I can click here. So it will use it as a reference. In Photoshop, it has a better one. It can let you choose the high and the bright spot, and then the dark spot, and then the middle gray. You can just choose, and then it will balance up for you easily. Right. And of course, the next I was saying the standard thing I will start in Lightroom is and then the next one is the transform. Okay. Let's transform. You go to transform. I will do a. Can you see this mark? I will do a. This one can't show you. Let me see. This one, okay. I use this one. This one is now. After the white balance, I will do the transform. The transform, I will click here. Basically, I think this is distorted, so I draw a straight line here. So this one will give me the two vertical line. I align the picture vertical, and then I'm supposed to draw another one here, horizontal. Okay, and maybe here horizontal.
No, I
Okay,
didn't know that this feature is available in Lightroom. I thought we can only do it in Photoshop.
So this one will let you.
This is new, is it? This is a new feature.
No, this has been there for all along.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can do auto. You can do auto, let the system fix for you. Okay, or you can do a guided. What I have been doing is a guided. Okay, and then of course you can play with vertical, horizontal again, and so on. But Photoshop has a lot more powerful feature than this. It's called a perspective warp. You can actually adjust it.
Correct.
Okay. And then as I mentioned, I use this one picture. Like another one is you try to recover the shadow. Too much shadow here and too bright here. You can go to your shadow here. Okay, the two often used. Outside is highlight. Too much highlight, you can reduce it. Okay, highlight. You only affect the highlight. And shadow, if it's too much here, too dark here, I will recover my shadow. Okay, you can see the shadow here. Right? And then of course the next one is the transform. Right? Transform, I would do my transform alignment. This is 2, right? And then here, okay. So these are the basic steps I need to do for basic Lightroom adjustment, right? Now these are the what they call overall adjustment. It applies to the entire picture. By far the most powerful feature is what they call a adjustment brush. It will let you do partial adjustment. what is partial adjustment? Okay, I have done the. Now, in case I don't want to do shadow for the entire one because I find that I may like this actually better, right? Because it also brighten this one. I can use the brush. Okay, the adjustment brush enable me to make partial adjustment of these few items. For example, I want to increase the brightness here without affecting other area. I can do an exposure here, right? And I can brush here. Just on this portion. Let's say this, I want this portion, right? Now the good thing about this, after you brush, you still can adjust, lower, lesser, without affecting other area. Now this is something I cannot find in Photoshop. Okay.
You can do in Camera Raw.
Yeah, Camera Raw basically is Lightroom without the organization.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you can also this guy is trying to peep through to see what is his secret in manipulating the snake. So you look at the overall here. Maybe you want to increase a bit too dark for the space, and then you can use the brush here, put exposure. So now you know that you can adjust this one. Now you can put a lot first, and then try it, and then after that you play with it. Too dark, too bright, lower a little bit more, and so on. Okay.
Chay, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Juan asking how to use the tone curve in Lightroom.
The tone curve. This one,
I think the chart. Yeah.
This one is not. I like the tone curve in Photoshop. If I want to use some kind, it goes there. But this is how you can use it. Let me see. Because this is applied to the whole photo, the whole picture. Now I do a reset to kill off the earlier one. You can just drag the curve up. You can see the whole thing is up. Okay. Or you can click on the red one. Let's say you want to adjust the red color. Now red has the opposite color. Red is up here. RGB red. The next one is cyan. Cyan is something between blue and green. Cyan. So you move up, it will increase the red color. You can see red color, down, lower, and you go down, it will increase the cyan. Okay. For example, you want to make your picture a bit more cinematic, like for the movie. Actually, they only add cyan a little bit, and then add some blue color. Blue is up, and maybe add a bit of green up there. Okay, this is more like the movie setting. Okay, just check the color. Although it have RGB 3 color, but it have opposite is CMY, cyan for red. Down is cyan. Green down is magenta. And then blue opposite is yellow, surprisingly yellow. So still you want to adjust yellow color, you cannot find yellow. Okay, yellow is actually opposite side. Okay, but I don't like to actually adjust color usually for the whole picture. In Photoshop, I used to do partial adjustment, but it looks like in Lightroom when you use the adjustment brush, it doesn't give you the adjustment for this. For example, if I want to change the want to see, can I do color? Can I do tone? Cannot. I cannot do tone.
Hue or anything.
Yeah, tone is not one of the adjustment brush color, so I have to use no. Okay, so tone curve is for the overall color grading for the picture. That's a short answer.
Another question from Juan.
Yeah.
Can to make a photo with only one color, example, or only orange. Juan, is it a whole picture black and white, only one color?
Even black and white is two color.
I mean, like partial color like this. Juan, can you elaborate more? Open your mic.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Just want to ask, let's say this photo, right, you have orange and light yellow. So how to make it? I saw some photo is almost same color, just a different tone.
Okay, let's say I want to have this one, and then you want to reduce the other colors influence, and you can try the saturation, bring it down. Okay, and then increase more, and then that will give you more emphasis on the color that you want. In this case, it's red. Okay, because saturation reduce every color's depth. So that's as close as I can think of. Right? Or you bring you see, for saturation you bring down to everything is supposed to black and white, but you increase the red color. Now if you don't change anything, it's black and white. Okay, so when you change the red one, that means the black is the red. Or you can do a blue, a green. Okay, for example, a green is all. Okay, I hope that answers your question. So first of all, reduce it to black and white, and then increase one color.
In what circumstances do we need to do this one color tone? Chay, in your opinion?
Movie. When someone is dreaming, so he enter into a dream, and a pink color dream, that a very romantic one, then one color lah. Otherwise black and white lah. So remember,
it's kind of difficult to make it one color, isn't it? It's always one color, meaning like orange and white, or blue and white, or red and white. If it's just one color, means it's just red or just blue.
Okay, you can go to Photoshop to do it. You can go to Photoshop and do it. Photoshop, you can use there is a black and white layer. You can black and white, extract the black and white. Then you can choose one color to change the color.
I mean, I've seen that some artists or some photographer, they turn a section of the photos become black and white. For example, these particular photos, everything is color. Probably just the model is actually black and white. Or
you can let's try this one. Okay, saturation I bring to black and white, and then I would increase I would change the red curve up.
Yep, but you still have two colors, isn't it?
Yeah, still have two colors. One color means all you have a piece of like a shirt, like a shirt.
Yeah, like my shirt. You got one color. So it's hard to tell a story with just one color, I guess.
Maybe the whole picture is black and white, but only show the yellow color, like only banana is yellow, right? So it will appear.
Two color lah. Okay, let's say you have to have two color lah. You cannot have one color lah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
Okay, let's say yellow and red. Okay, yellow and red lah.
Mm.
I think the meaning is a selective color.
Yeah, I think that's the term, selective color. That means that if this whole picture is actually black and white, but the banana, we could
Only
actually
banana yellow come out.
Yeah, only the yellow will come out on the banana itself because we want to focus on the banana example.
Selective color.
Yeah. So that can be done in radial filter, or I guess we can also do it using the brush. Yeah.
Is what they call gradient.
Gradient.
Use a gradient method, have two color lah. Okay. Any more questions? Yeah. And another feature I like most is called the map. The map feature, because now you can take picture with the GPS one, right? So actually you can make use of the GPS position, and then you use the map here. It will tell you the picture, where graphically show, your number 2 picture is taken here, number 9 is here, and so on. You have the position, which is a very good feature. Okay.
This only happen if our camera come with a GPS function or with.
Right. And interestingly, the GPS came to picture earlier on is for the mobile phone, and then starting to have, you can see Sony and Canon, all those will be part of the thing. But the mobile phone has moved ahead.
Yep.
Okay. Now, one of the very well organized feature of Lightroom is what they call preset. Preset, again, invented by this Photoshop. So people, you can build after making a color and so on, you can save it as a preset. Meaning you, for example, this guy, okay, they are selling. They make very interesting one and start selling. You can move and then you can tell you different color. Okay, this is oil painting color. A very famous photographer called Sage. He created all this. There are thousands of them. And you can download all this thing in Taobao, very cheap. Taobao, of course, they have a lot of copyright, copy wrong photo, preset from American and from other places. But the Chinese also created their own preset, very similar, because it's so easy to create. Okay, and then you can do film tones. I like this one. Okay. It's not meant to be like you pick it up and use it. Okay, like this color. You stick it up and then you can further play with it. And you don't want you want it to be brighter and you want it to be darker and so on. And you still can manipulate, but you have a different starting point. Okay, so this is one of the good features I often use. So that's why I say I have so many presets here. Okay. And then, of course, even black and white. Okay. So now let's see how to link this to Photoshop. Now, if you see further thing that you cannot achieve by Photoshop, one of the thing is I cannot find a good sky here. I think this sky is boring. So you want to change to different sky. You can go to Photoshop now by just do a right click here. You can do a right click here. You can say edit in Photoshop. it will just bring this picture to Photoshop, and you can bring in the original one or bring in one that is already, you have done something here with Lightroom adjustment. So I'll just do a copy here. Then it brings me to, this is Photoshop. Now in Photoshop, if I want to change the sky, I just go to edit, sky replacement. Okay, I go to sky replacement. I find a sky that I like. Okay, maybe I like this sky better. It will just change to this sky. Or if I want a fire sky to match the color, I have this one. Or I do this. I do this. Okay, so let's say I like this one. Then you just do okay. So you have two photos. So this is only done by Photoshop. Or you want to find your own, right? To do your own sky. Maybe you have some sky that you love. Now I have developed a habit. When I go to a place, the sky is changing all the time. Every 10 minutes, different sky. So changing sky is not something that is bad, you know. So I always go to the sky, take some sky picture first, in case I want to change the sky. Now, when you have a sky, for example, I throw away earlier one, the sky here. I will just go into my okay, this is a photo I took in Lijiang some years ago. So I just drag this to here. I drag it here. And done. So I don't like this sky. I will just do a select and sky. I select the sky. So the sky is selected. Oh, it's wrong. Not very good. Never mind. I don't use this selection. I will just actually should be here. I use the wrong layer. Huh? Okay, I choose the sky. Now the sky is selected by select. So how do I get rid of this sky and the one? I just do a layer mask. Okay. By doing a layer mask, I actually, you can see that all this jacker place, meaning don't show this at all. This picture has blank here. When it's blank, it goes into the second layer. So this is only doable in Photoshop. You can't do it in Lightroom. Okay. Now when I finish, I will just exit, click exit, and ask me whether to save or not. I say yes. How come it's not here? It's supposed to be here. Sometimes the sorting, when I have something supposed to be here, and the resulted one go to the back one. So I need to go to my one and see, do a view, sort. You can see the sort is based on capture time. So I want to change it back to based on label text, meaning file name, okay. I can't get it out. Did I get the right slot? Okay, maybe I did not save it correctly early on, but if I do a where is it in there? If I do a synchronize my folder, it should come out. Okay, it's here. You see, it was like that.
Yeah, come out already.
Yeah. Okay. So this one cannot be achieved within Lightroom itself. So there are time to do it. So and as I show you, it's very easy to go into Photoshop from here. Just right click and then say edit in Photoshop. It will bring the photo to the other side. Okay. Now let me branch to now someone was asking me how to get rid of this one, right? Unfortunately, we don't have a very clear picture, but it is only almost like one step. Okay, you just use first you mark the place, and then you do a edit fill. Okay, and make sure you choose content aware, and then it disappear. Okay, quite a good job. Except here, maybe a little bit. I can do it one more time, or I can do it using the patch tool to move the patch to the right side. Okay, so you take away. You need to do a few more steps slowly. Do it. I prefer usually do it head first, hand first, and so on. Otherwise, you leave behind some mark, which is not very good here. For example, here. Right. So this is something again Lightroom cannot do. So I would use this. Okay. This one, you can both use the spot remover in Lightroom as well as Photoshop. Now the difference is in Lightroom, when you choose a point here, you click here, it actually create, you move away, right? But in Lightroom, is quite different. I don't know whether this girl has got any pimple. Yeah, it has. Very good. In Lightroom, not so good because you use this remover. All right. Now you can see if I click this one, actually you need to find another place to replace it. Here, it's gone. Okay, this one. it can suggest display, but may not be good. You choose here, and you want this to be out.
Not so intelligent.
Not so intelligent. And in case a face don't have any good spot, then you can't do anything, right? The light in this respect, this one is better. Okay, it's actually got a feel to do it. Right. Now this one is not easy. Like this one, this girl, you take a picture. This is in Japan. It happened that my eye can see clearly, but when you take a shot, you find that the camera, the lens cannot match your eyes. So outside area is so bright, right? You can't do it well. So this one can be done in Lightroom. Easily use a adjustment brush, brighter, and then just brush the face, right? Similarly, you can also do it here. If I just do a curve, do a curve. I bring up this curve. Just concentrate on the curve. You find that the surrounding also brighten. Never mind. Just look at the curve, right? After the curve is done, you're happy with this one. So I want to apply only this portion. Very simple. You just do a reverse mask, Control I, right? And then you use a brush. Use a brush to brush on the face. So you apply on the face only. Right? If it's too bright, then you do the opacity to bring down a little bit. So yeah, it's more precise manipulation in Photoshop, but the effect is better. In Lightroom, it's very fast. Take the brush and then adjust the bright level and finish. This one you gotta do a curve and then opposite and so on. Right? Now this one will be a lot easier to do it in Lightroom. But there are a few things to correct. Okay, number one is the horizontal line is wrong. The underexposed here, overexposed outside. So 3 things to do, right? So basically, do the similar thing as you do an edit. Oh, this lock. So I need to create a different layer and do a edit, transform, do a distortion. So you can actually do a collection on the distortion, drag it down a bit.
You can actually put a ruler on the sidebar to make it as a guidance.
Yeah, you can put a ruler here. Then okay, I don't need a ruler. Quite well, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So after that, you just accept. Okay, done. So you solve one problem. Right. I can now clear the guides from here. Any idea how to do it? You can use the curve also, right? So curve. Now, in order to be more precise, you can use this one so it will bring you to the curve here. Right? Sorry. Right, so you bring up the brightness here, but at the same time, you also bring up the brightness here. Not so good. Then you can do a brightness. You can do a brightness and then So good here. You can try to do the brand mode, which will bring you to screen overlay. Still no good. You can try a few, and then maybe I just use a brush to brush out the area. Oh. Okay, now I use another curve. I can use another curve, and this time I bring it down outside. Okay, now again I do a reverse mask, Control I, and apply only the brush. I blacken it and cover up all the adjustment I make early, which is to bring down, and then I have brush white on here, so you only apply here. Right. Looks like the sky cannot be rescued already. Huh? Okay.
I think you need some birds there to make it more interesting.
Yeah, so you can change the sky also, of course. Change the sky here, do another sky change here, and do it. Right. Right. So the result will be like that. And again, as I said, this is better done at a Lightroom level, faster. Okay. Now, how to do Lightroom? For example, I can use the other way around. I can come from Lightroom to this. I can also go to Lightroom from Photoshop, which is called Camera Raw. Okay. I go to Camera Raw. Remember that transform, that I can do it very fast. Transform. Where is in the new one? It's called geometry now. This one here. Okay, I can do this one. It's faster. Okay, done. Now the next one here is now for the brightness one, I can use the remember the light, the highlight. I just move left. Okay, it will bring down the highlight. For the dark area, I use the shadow to recover the right. Okay, done. Now there's one last step we do. As I said earlier, in when you recover feature details from darker area, you lose detail. Just look at this one. You can see the noise. Is called noise. We have to do something to take away the noise, which you can go into detail here, and under detail, I can do a noise reduction. Reduce the noise, but of course it also remove some detail. Okay. So before, after. And okay, it comes back to Photoshop. Okay, that's how it is. So it's faster to be done to be done at the Lightroom level.
Okay. Any other question, guys?
Okay, I think I have no more photo to demo. So question time.
Yeah.
You know,
We always.
Chay, back to the Indian man doing this prata.
A snake.
No, the prata one, frying the prata one.
Okay.
How do you make it blur? Make the background blur?
Okay, to make background blur, you have to cut out this portion. Okay.
Photoshop.
It has to be done in Photoshop. Okay, I just want to show you how. You will just mark out. You mark out this man. I'll do a quick one, without less precise.
What do you use to make marker?
Here. This is called a quick selection tool.
Okay.
Right. Then you mark. You also, especially the loaded product, you mark this one. So you need to slowly get this one done. After that, then you just do a duplicate. Control J to duplicate this one. So basically, I taken out are not very precise yet. Anyway, I just show you. You mark out this one. Now you don't blur this portion, right? You blur the background. The background is here. So I will just duplicate this one and then mark this one again. Earlier on, I marked this one. To make it better. Right. So I would blur the entire picture, but blurring the entire picture has got a not so nice effect, because when you blur, actually it's spread out also, right? It's spread out also. So what I'm trying to do is now to remove this person totally, and I'm still here.
I think the latest version of Photoshop has got features called select subject. So
Yeah,
the moment
it doesn't work in this case because this background is too messy. So it doesn't know the subject. It's not intelligent enough to know the entire subject. So you still need to, like, here mark out. So what you do here is you bring it here. I will expand a little bit. Select and do a remover here. So it's removed, right? It's removed. Then I blur this whole place using a filter blur, and then Gaussian blur.
Gaussian blur.
Okay. Now, you just do whatever, how much you want to blur. So I can do up to 26 and then done. After that, I put it back. Okay. Sorry, it wasn't well done here, but this is.
Yeah, the selection has to be very precise and perfect, or else.
So you need to do a lot of work to trim down this one, and then to put back this one, and so on. So
very tedious.
I can do it in 10 minutes.
I think until you have a budget, you just get a
Just
f1.8. No, just get 1.8 lens.
Yeah, you got 2.8. Go and get a 1.8 lens.
Or get 1.2. Okay, Howard has got stock. No worries.
Yeah, I don't have money to buy the 1.2 lah, so I use Photoshop.
Fujifilm got 1.2 meh?
1.2, yeah, yes. The
56 1.2.
R lens, the Canon R lens 1.2, about $3,000.
USD. No, say SG.
Yeah.
$10.
Are lenses cheaper in Malaysia?
I think similar.
Similar,
Yeah.
with the GST now.
But even with the
Malaysia,
good lens,
no
even with
GST.
the good lens, we also need to be very careful, when it comes to focus. So we have to make sure that we put the man in focus as well as the Lottie Plata in focus. Yeah. Yeah. If your focus point is wrong, then you won't get the same blurry effect.
Correct. So safer actually is to use a f4 or f5 5.6 to take the whole picture. So more or less they are quite clear, and then you blur the other portion. Otherwise, you buy a 1.2 and then it's still blur, and you cry.
Maybe the Plata also blur. Yeah.
This one not that clear because when I saw he throw this one, I quickly take out and then click already. So I didn't even have time to go and check the setting. Right. So usually when this sort of straight shooting, I will set it to f4, f5.6 to be able to move fast and then catch it at a high speed. Okay. Any questions? Any more questions? No, then I have no more to show really.
Okay, lah, guys. If no more question, I think we will end here. Now it's already 10:45. So usually we end at 10:30. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Chay, for sharing your valuable knowledge with us, with all our YBs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks so much.
by the way,
Thanks
for those who need to buy, when you buy Photoshop, it come together. The two come in a set. You don't have to buy one different.
Sure. Chay, you have any social media or any Facebook or Instagram that that our members could actually follow you? Yeah, just flash your slide. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see.
Not to worry, or you can send it to me later on. I could actually put it in the pre-recorded video later. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Good night. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Melon sharing 嚟。唉，確實冇叫。